wheelchair sign.
Okay. I agree. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Monday, August 12th, 2024 regular Wilson County Commissioners Court. Let the minutes reflect that we have a quorum with all court members present. Before we begin, we're going to have Pastor Jennifer Kelly of the Floresville United Methodist Church lead us in a prayer. Pastor?
Let us pray. God of justice and mercy, we are thankful for this day and for your presence with us. Lord, we are bold to ask for wisdom today, for your guidance in all the decisions that need to be made, for your compassion in responding to every need. Lord, let all that we do and say honor you. Protect this place and all those in it, and lead us and guide us. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Agenda item number 3, do we have any public comments? No public comments. Agenda item number 4, certificates and completions of awards. Okay, let these be put into the minutes. We have a certificate for Angelica Cuellar for her DMV training. Commissioner Gary Martin has 8 hours of VGY Institute of Government awards for his continuing education. Same certificate for Commissioner John Scott Aiken. Same for Commissioner Russell King. Those go into the meeting. Agenda item number 5, we go to extension activity reports.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You have our full extension activity reports in your binder, but we wanted to make a couple announcements of reminders. Next week, we have the Stop the Bleed training at the Expo Center, open to all county employees. So far, we have 11 departments signed up with 43 participants.
43?
43, yes, sir. Hopefully that's a little reminder. And then on Saturday, August 24th, we will be having the Wilson County Community Resource and Health Fair at the Expo Center from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll have some fun stuff going on over there with some vendors and resources, line dancing and Zumba as well, and some cooking demonstrations. And then my final announcement, I will be doing a food protection managers class in August, August 28th and 29th. So if anybody is looking for a food manager's certification, just call the office and sign up.
Do you have anything to offer us on the meeting you had for ACOG on the transportation rerouting that we were going to do through here?
So an email was sent out with the PowerPoint on that. They did send prices for the county and each city that's involved in it. So right now, we're just waiting for funding to be approved for each entity that's involved and the county. So
Is Pandora included?
Pandora is included in that. Yes, sir.
May I speak to it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, multiple routes. One route that basically entails the city of Floresville and if you can envision the way a bus route would be in a big municipal area to where they have all the routes divided, this is similar, but on a much smaller scale. The route had us going to the event center on the other side of Floresville, and we look to add the exposition center to where 5 days a week, there'll be a loop that'll be made between all these pertinent places in the city of Floresville, healthcare, shopping, things of that nature. There is one day for the city of Stockdale up through Solon Springs. Lavernia is also looped in, and another day that includes Pandora, then Stockdale. And so the coverage is looking to be every day in Floresville, and then one day, 2 days tying in the city of Stockdale, and being able to get people in the more rural areas into a central location for purchasing, and so it's a very neat map. Right now, somewhere around $84,000 of required from the county to participate. City of Floresville is at $79,000 approximate. Please, these are all approximations off the top of my head, but ACOG is going to be funding over half of it. One of the things in the plan, they had allotted some money coming from Solon Springs and some money coming from Pandora. Pandora has no funding sources, and I'm not sure whether or not Solon Springs, whether or not their community center would see this as something that they wanted to help with, but, we basically tied it all in as, well, these are rural, they're not municipalities, so Wilson County covering approximately 25% of the cost, it would be included in there. But the new city manager of Stockdale said, we see value in getting more days from Stockdale, and I'll talk to my council about how our participation goes. But everybody who was represented there were very positive, and there's a lot of anticipation for the program because it'll help a lot of our taxpayers.
Is there a set schedule on that, Commissioner? How do they do it? Every 30 minutes, they show up to that same drop-off point?
They have a scheduled,
Yes, they have a pretty detailed schedule. They use a mapping system, and for the city of Floresville, it'll be a 1-hour route. And then I don't recall for bringing in Solon Springs, Stockdale, Lavernia, but it's also on a loop. So they have everything broken down by times on the PowerPoint. So,
All right.
any more questions? And then Samantha has a couple announcements.
I have just a question. I thought I heard you. I just wanted to clarify. Did you say that the county's portion would be $84,000? Is that something that needs to be budgeted? Because no one's told me.
okay. Look and see if my email went into a trash file, because I emailed you and the judge on it after I got this information. So maybe it didn't send. I'll go take a look. But I kind of pushed that out, and so please check.
Well, since we're in the middle of budget, it'd be good to know we can budget.
And because I asked whether or not, knowing that we're in the middle of trying to decide what to finalize our ARPA funds on, whether or not this would be something that funds could be allocated from there if we saw fit, because it'd be helping everybody. Now, there wasn't a POTH route, but it was discussed about how to add it and whether or not it would also be tied on a route coming up from Karnes County that would be going to Floresville. ACOG basically said that they were doing this based upon requests for services and the number that they were having from the area, and that's how they built their map, and then public input. They've had a couple of meetings, and I think one of them fell whenever we were all at conference and didn't get to attend. And
So both is in question still.
well, it was, in the one meeting that I've made the other day, we discussed the community, but there hasn't been any interaction with, I guess, the city council or the mayor or anybody there to go, do you want to be added to this? If, in my mind, if they did choose to add themselves, then it would probably take and make our portion from Wilson County go down because there'd be more cost sharing in the mix. But that's just me playing best guess. The ACOG may come back and go, well, in order to provide these additional services, it's gonna cost this much more, and so we need to refigure the budget.
At our meeting last week, they're pretty, I don't want to say, I guess, confident that Karnes County wanted to provide a route service to bring their residents into Floresville. So when we heard that, like, that would be a really easy way to incorporate Poth, because they could just make a stop in Poth, and then if anybody wanted to come into Floresville, they could do that way. So, but yeah, there are negotiations with them as well. So, do we need to get on the next agenda for budget approval things? I think that was one of my questions in the email that I sent out was,
Haven't we met with you on the budget?
no, for this transportation specifically.
Well, yes. I mean, we haven't finalized the budget yet. The first
Okay.
is to go in, but that's just the first draft. So we still have time if you want to get together with Brenda on that. But bring us some numbers on that. I want to make sure we're right on the money for that.
Okay, I will make sure that she gets the email
I did,
with.
I got it Thursday night, I got it.
Okay, in the PowerPoint has all the numbers in it. Yeah. Okay,
And them out here would be coming to the court as well.
okay,
So it ain't just.
For
coming
ACOG
you,
to
it's
come out
actually
here.
Coming from ACOG doing this. They're the
Yes, sir.
ones running the system, right? So
yes, okay. And then on Sunday, the 25th, we're going to have 4-H kickoff from 2 to 4 at the Expo Center. So it's a great way for any potential 4-Hers to come out and check out what's going on there. And then, Samantha has some announcements.
No, we're just, this month, we're still doing our hay and soil testing campaign. So we do that with the Wilson County Farm Bureau and the Wilson County Soil and Water Conservation District. And so those are just a service that they'll pay for your first sample, and then you can pay for any others you want, but everyone should be testing their soil. And there's a lot of hay on the ground right now, so I would encourage everybody to be testing their hay. But that's just me. Also, we are starting our first Wilson County Master Gardener class next week. And so that's been something that's people have, my predecessors have wanted to start. So these are Extension Master Gardeners that'll help with our Extension program and be volunteers to help wherever there's a need. And so we're doing our first class right now. We have about 12 participants, which is outstanding for a first class. So that's kind of what we've got going on. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Agenda item number 6. We need to wait, pass on that for 10 o'clock. That's to open up the RFQs. We're going to go to agenda item number 7. Still another one. All right, both of agenda item number 6 and 7, we'll return to that at 10 and convene that meeting. Agenda item number 8, we have Mr. Anthony Delgado, County Extension, Historical Commission, discuss and take action on approving 3 land legacy awards submitted by Wilson County landowners. Lydia Wiseman Jones and Reagan Wiseman, ancestor acquired by Lavernia area property in the 1850s and 1860s. Deeds and relationships validated. Clay Makel, am I saying? Makel? Ancestor acquired Poth area property in 1936. Deed and relationship validated. Mr. Delgado, you have the floor.
Excellent. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners, for this opportunity. You might remember just about 6, maybe 8 weeks ago, you approved the applications and the certificates for the new Land Heritage as well as the Business Heritage Award Program. By way of reminder, this is just a way for you and the Historical Commission to recognize longstanding businesses and landowners here in the county. When we announced that, we did receive 2 applications, Lydia and her brother, Reagan Wiseman on one, Mr. Meckel on another. And as the judge read in the agenda, the Wisemans have had their property since about 1850s. Of course, back then, this was part of Bexar County, and so you can find that document really fascinating document. There's a gentleman by the name of John James, who's also a signatory on the deed, which was acquired about 1850s. And then the Meckel family in Poth acquired their property in 1936. So both of those applications have been reviewed. The relationship of the applicant to the original owner has been validated, as well as the deeds themselves. So with that, I would ask that you consider approving those applications, and then upon approval, I'll ask the judge to sign the certificates. Any
Gal, we
questions?
have any family members from both of those estates who would like?
No, sir, they've both have, the Weissmans are actually in Houston, and they're going to make an opportunity to come down once this is approved. Both of them have stated that they'd like to have an opportunity to arrange a special presentation at a time and a place of their convenience. So unfortunately, no, they're not here this morning, sir.
Okay. All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 8.
I'll make a motion to approve the land legacy awards for the Lydia Wiseman Jones and Reagan Wiseman and Clay Meckel.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King. Is there any discussion regarding agenda item number 8? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. All right, so you have me to sign.
Do you need to leave, or are you gonna leave, or you?
I can stay around if you need to.
I need to do, I need you and her to, we need to talk about commission fund.
Good. Sorry, that's the other clerk. You can come over.
Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it.
Agenda item number 9, we go to Lyle Huffstetler from ACOG. Consider and take possible action on resolution of internet to establish the Wilson County PACE program. This resolution references the report and sets a hearing date. How you doing, sir?
Doing well, Judge. Thank you for having me. Good morning to you and good morning, Commissioners. My name's Lyle Huffstetler. I'm with the Alamo Area Council of Governments. I'm the Natural Resources Project Administrator there, meaning I oversee our air quality program. Today's item respectfully asks for your approval to sign a resolution of intent to adopt a Wilson County PACE program. Recall a couple months ago, I gave a presentation to the court explaining what the PACE program is, and I'll just very briefly recap that. Basically, it's private financing for commercial property owners to implement energy efficiency and water saving measures onto their buildings. We believe it to be an excellent economic development tool as a way to invest in your downtown areas and rehabilitate your older building stock. The reason we need your approval for PACE is because in order to make the financing work for the property owner, the county must place an assessment lien on that property at the owner's request. I just want to be clear that this program does not involve any additional work on behalf of the county staff, doesn't require any money or anything. All the administration of the PACE program is going to be on ACOG's shoulders through an interlocal agreement that we would have you sign at a subsequent meeting should you approve this resolution of intent today. If you do decide to go through with this resolution today, the next Commissioners Court meeting would involve having a public hearing to accept any comments on this program. There would be a resolution to adopt PACE, and then you would, the third thing would be to enter into an interlocal agreement with ACOG, assigning all the administrative duties onto us, so that, again, it involves no staff time on the county's behalf.
Well, this doesn't just apply to the city of Floresville. It's for the county, for the other cities that are in.
That's correct.
In the county, correct?
The entire county would apply. And we prefer to go to the counties for that reason. So we're very thankful to be here today.
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 9.
I got one more question. Is 2 weeks sufficient notice time for the public hearing for that? There's not any other statutory requirement?
Yes, sir. 2 weeks will be enough.
I'll make a motion that we approve the PACE program through ACOG for the county of Wilson.
Second.
Who was the second? Sorry? Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Paradola, seconded by Commissioner Martin regarding agenda item number 9. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 10. We have Lena Selby, President of the Floresville Lions Club, discuss and take action on a request from Floresville Lions Club for the use of the courthouse lawn to hold the second annual breakfast with Santa for the Wilson County community on Saturday, December 7th, 2024, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Set up the night before, we are planning a Christmas vendors market with a breakfast and will therefore need the full lawn and use of the parking lot as well. Hi, ma'am, you have the floor.
Hi. Wait, gotta pull that down. Okay. Hi, as Judge Whitman said, I'm Lena Selby. I want to thank the judge and the commissioners for placing us on the agenda today. The Floresville Lions Club has been serving Floresville and the surrounding area since November 24th, 1944. In a few months, we will be celebrating our 80th year of service. We are chartered under Lions Club International, the world's largest service organization, boasting 1.4 million lions in over 200 countries and regions. Our motto internationally and locally is "We serve." We serve in the areas of vision, diabetes, hunger, the environment, childhood cancer, youth, humanitarian aid, and disaster relief. We like to say, where there's a need, there's a lion. Each year, we meet the needs in our community in each of these areas. To meet those needs in our community requires funds. While Santa's Breakfast started as a fundraiser, it didn't make that much money. It's become more of a labor of love for the Lions. We love seeing the joy in the children's eyes as they see Santa come in on the ESD-4 fire truck. We love watching the kids talk to Mrs. Santa about the North Pole while enjoying cookies. We love seeing the families as they interact with our North Pole elves while they serve their warm, delicious breakfast of pancakes, bacon, sausage, and eggs. And we love the delight in the children's eyes as they go to meet Santa and speak with him about their Christmas wish list. I think all Lions would agree the best part of the breakfast with Santa is the opportunity for families to spend time with each other before Christmas Day. Last year and this coming year, we are partnered with Boy Scouts Troop 114. That's the local Boy Scouts troop. The Lions set up the grounds and the decorations, provide Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves, build and present the market, and the Boy Scouts cook breakfast, which is no small task. Last year, it took them 12 hours to cook all the bacon and sausage, and they did refrigerate it. We were in complete compliance. We did serve over 300 people, and we anticipate roughly the same this year. So with that said, we feel the courthouse lawn is the perfect place for the Santa's Breakfast again, and I won't repeat everything Judge Whitman already said, but we want to thank you for accepting our request, and we hope you approve it. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Do you know if there's any other events scheduled that day?
I haven't heard of one, and I did check with the city, and I don't think there is. We do want to work with, last year they told us Brenda Trevino.
That's
Yeah, I know, but you organize the displays
Oh, yes.
in the back. So we will need to work with you because we have 3 large tents, and then we'll have vendor tents. So last year we did it in conjunction with the community market, but they're not here this year. So we still have the organizer. There's our 2 Lions. That's our service chair and our first vice president, Lauren Godlitz and Bonnie Sario.
So that was something that your event is something separate than what the city did last year with
Yes,
Christmas.
and the city is November 28th. I've already checked with
Oh,
them.
okay.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion. Agenda item number 10.
I'll make a motion to approve the Lions Club use of the courthouse lawn to hold their second annual breakfast with Santa on Saturday, December 7th, in accordance with their request for times.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King regarding agenda item number 10. Do you have any other discussion? Hearing none, a call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, motion passes. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. We have these little things. When's the appropriate time to hand these out?
If you'll leave them with the clerk back here, we'll grab them from you.
Okay, and can we give them to these people at the end or now, or
You want, I say again, I can't.
may we give them to the audience, or?
Sure, you may.
Is it appropriate now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I need to know protocol.
No, you're okay.
Thank you so much.
Agenda item number 11, we have Ms. Brenda Trevino, County Auditor, discuss and take action on approving contract with Wilson County and Broadus Construction for the construction of the Emergency Operations Center.
If you remember at the last court, you awarded the contract to Broadus Construction for the construction of the Emergency Operations Center. That is money that was grant funded by the Texas Department of Emergency Management to the county. The contract has been reviewed by council, reviewed and approved by council. They will send an electronic DocuSign contract. I did bring a hard copy. It's 75 pages long, but the judge has had it and again has been reviewed by council. There were, I think, 3 addendums that were emailed on Friday, which are included as well. This is the hard copy.
I know Mr. Monreal with Broadus is here. Did you have anything to address, Mr. Monreal?
We understood that.
Go ahead, come to the mic. Mike?
Mike Monreal at the mic. So here we go. No, we helped set that up. It's a standard AIA contract form. So if you have any questions, we're willing to talk about it, adjust it, but we're trying to get into the modern age and using DocuSign as for most of our documents. So when we are ready, we'll go ahead and send that to you, Judge, and copy the appropriate personnel. Over to you, Brenda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate it. All right. We'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 11.
Make a motion to approve the contract between Wilson County and Broadus Construction for the construction of the EOC, Emergency Operations Center.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Aiken regarding agenda item number 11. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, a call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Congratulations, sir. We look forward to a nice building. All right, thank you. Agenda item number 12, again, we have Ms. Brenda Trevino, County Auditor, discuss, take action on approving contract between Wilson County and H2O Partners Incorporated for the Hazard Mitigation Plan update.
Yes, so Judge, Commissioners, this was the contract that you awarded to H2O Partners for the development of the updated hazard mitigation plan. Again, this contract has been reviewed and approved by our county attorney's office. And I have the contract here for signature.
What's the value of the contract?
I have to go back and look because this one. 75,010, yes. $75,010.
So that fits within the grant we got for.
Yes,
Right?
correct.
Okay.
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 12.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract between Wilson County and H2O Partners for the hazard mitigation plan of $75,010.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. We have any other discussion on agenda item number 12? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Move to agenda item number 13, Russell King, Commissioner Precinct 2, discuss, take action on updating Wilson County collection facility rates, previously tabled July 22nd, 2024. And then we'll go to B after that.
All right, so going back to this that we tabled, went back and updated the prices. I actually gave you another copy, so it's not the one that's actually in your binder. I had to update that again. Kind of went with what y'all asked last time, breaking up the trailers and the vehicles and breaking it down a little bit further, so give y'all a few minutes to review that. And I did break up construction material, vice just regular loose trash and bulky items as well. Construction material obviously weighs a lot, and what we're paying for weight fills up our containers quite a bit, so cost is going up. Over there, you got something to say while they're looking this over?
Yes, sir. Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
State your name, sir.
Xavier Lucio,
Okay, thank you.
going on 8 years on the facility. Excuse me. Will these be all flat rates on the
Yes,
trailers and trucks?
flat rate.
Okay, on the brush, there's no problem on the pickups from $5 to $30, because that's what we were doing. On the trailers, on the 16-foot trailers, y'all got it at 25 when I was charging from $40 to $60. So there we're gonna be losing. And there's times that the 16-foot trailer doesn't bring the same load all the time. It'll be less than that. So there we're gonna make money, but they're gonna get pissed off. They're gonna get mad. Sorry for my language. So see, every time they bring a load, it's not the same load. So that's why I had it on trailers from $5 all the way up to $200. It all depends on how much and what the material is. Because they could bring a 16-foot trailer with brush, and they have tires on them. So you see, I charge for the brush and the tires. But if it's gonna be a flat rate,
No, the flat rate doesn't, it's only for the brush,
Exactly.
not anything else, not a
Okay.
tire, not construction.
all right, and in
Construction
that
debris or
case,
nothing, it's brush
if the trailer brings less than what he brought the first time, I'm still gonna charge him $25 when I was charging him $40, $60.
That's what we were talking about a while ago. So yes, you're not charged for whatever is on that trailer. So if he brings construction material, brush, and tires,
Yeah.
he's got 3 different charges sitting right there.
No, but I'm saying just the brush itself. If he brings brush, 4-foot walls, that's when I start charging $60, and y'all got it at $25. So you see, we're not making money there. And I don't think we're about to make, it's not about making money, it's about helping the community.
But that brush is not going inside of a container.
No, it's not.
So we're not paying for weight at that point.
Okay, and
So
That's-
let me answer one of your questions. You
Yes,
said,
sir.
We here to make money. Really, no, we're trying to make it solvent, make sure that it helps the community.
right, true that, yes, sir.
We're not here to make money. We're here to provide a service to the
Correct.
community with the money that was given to us. Now, if we're gonna lose money because of that, and we have to, I understand that.
Yes.
No, we're not in it to make money. We're making sure that it pays for itself.
Okay,
We
yes,
provide a service to the.
yes, sir.
What we have to make sure we're covering is what our dumpsters are getting hauled out for.
Okay.
That's what we have to
Okay, let's go to the
make it.
loose and bulky items. On the trailers, you got it 10 and under, $20. I got this trailer that's, I say, 8 foot. I charge him $80 because he has 6-foot walls, nothing but trash bags. And that comes from a local restaurant. So see, I'm charging 80 and y'all have it at 20.
But shouldn't you be charging him by the trash bag? You bring in trash bags, regardless of whether it's a trailer?
But it's hard to count all the trash bags on that trailer since we get the grapple and grab it, and some of them tears up, And there's times that the same trailer brings a quarter of it, which is $20 will be fine.
Put a commercial rate in there.
Yeah, we can definitely put a commercial rate and change it.
And that's not only for the restaurant, it's the local people
So-
that bring trailers that are with trash bags,
So with that, like
trash bags and bulky items.
Commissioner Martin just said, we can put a commercial in there. Because if I break this down, or if any of the commissioners, if we break this all the way down, we're gonna have 60 pages of what we're gonna charge. So, we don't have a scale.
No, we don't, yes, sir.
We can, this county will never be able to afford a scale anytime soon. So this is why we're making a flat rate. So, like I asked prior to building all this, is to get me all the information. So, for a commercial rate, yes, we can add something like that in there, but I can't sit here and see charging somebody a crazy amount whenever they're not.
For their, yeah, for that little
For
bit.
that little bit, you know
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean? If they want to sit there and bulk it up, yeah, we can put a different line item in there
Right.
with walls.
It's like,
Like,
okay.
all these trailers don't show up with all these walls.
Yes, sir.
Not
Like,
everybody's doing it.
right.
So I'm trying to take care of the community, not just those.
Your
We have
rates
to
are
make a
based
decision
off of about an 18-inch high sidewall trailer is what
Yep.
your rates are based off of. And so what I would say is that if they have done the 6-foot tall walls and framed it up, it's triple rate because you're gonna take and just multiply out.
Throw that one in your
Or
construction
quadruple rate.
material.
I mean,
Okay, on that matter, if they have that 4-foot wall list per se, and they bring quarter of it, they're still gonna get charged that flat rate, the 150?
That's what we're saying.
That's what we're gonna charge.
If we're gonna put that in there, yeah. If you have walls on your trailer,
Yeah, and quarter of trash in it, it's,
you're not gonna make everybody happy.
I
believe me.
mean, I know I'm
I
not
got a
gonna,
job that
what
makes
I'm saying,
nobody
but most of the trash is gonna be alongside of the roads or,
So, you're not gonna make everybody happy with what we're doing, but we're trying to take care of the people as well.
right.
So,
We're trying to get a little standardization on what we charge out there.
yes, because there's,
Because we get.
You don't know how many phone calls we get. Well, my friend went over there and they took this truckload and they got charged $40 and I got charged $80. You don't know the circumstances.
Right.
That's what we're trying to eliminate. So if you show up, it's up, like you said, it's up to you to maximize your load for what you're gonna be charged in your pickup. You know, if you wanna throw one thing of brush in the back of your truck, you're gonna get charged whatever the
$15, or what was it,
$15.
$5 for that small pickup?
but,
Yeah.
but that's where we go in and, kinda like Commissioner Aiken just said, they got the 4-foot wall or whatever, you triple the price, or you just put under construction material. It's a decision, and we don't have to prove this today, we can go back to the drawing board one more time.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna give 6 pages of how we're gonna charge something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we gotta be smart of how we're gonna do it. If you have walls on your trailer, you're gonna get charged whatever it is, 10-foot trailer, $100.
Regardless of,
Whether it's-
regardless
whether
of what they have in there.
Regardless
Trying to
what,
simplify it where you don't have a book out there and you're going
Right.
through pages trying to figure out what you're.
Correct. Well, that's why when we first started, we started from $5, from the smallest trailer to the biggest trailer, from $5 to $200.
yeah.
Well, then we estimated. If they brought a quarter of it, it'll be lower. They brought the full trailer, $200.
But that's what we can.
And that's what,
Whenever you start estimating it,
Yeah.
people start questioning that. That's what we continue getting.
and there's some
is questions.
customers that say, well, last time I paid $20.
And this time, that
This time you paid $10. He didn't get mad about that one, but when he brought more, he got mad,
this time, no matter what, they pay that rate.
okay? Regardless of
That's
what they
what
have.
other
in-
counties are doing around us. It doesn't really change.
Okay, I just want to make that, bring it up, because I mean, we are going to have a lot of complaints with this new prices, and,
All right.
but like I'll say,
Till they understand it, they figure it out.
okay, we'll go with that then.
do you want to include in this? I mean, you suggested one way on bumping it to construction material whenever there's a wall. Or do you want to take and look at triple the rate? Or,
And, yeah, we can, that's what I was fixing to say, is we can do, however, we don't have to prove it today. We can go back to the drawing board and say, yeah, well, let's go, if you have walls on your trailer,
Yeah, because I get a trailer, a 30-foot trailer with 4-foot walls, but he never, there's once or twice he brought it in the 8 years, full.
You amended on this.
But then he brings it by quarterways, and y'all want to charge him $300.
Can add that.
Yeah, amend it now and add the commercial rate now, so we don't have to come back.
So we want to go under loose trash and bulky items, trailers with walls, triple the rate. Or do you want to put it under
I think the
construction?
suggestion of making it in multiples of like 2 feet.
So get a tape measure out, and if you had
Yeah,
another,
or I mean, you could probably eyeball it. You know, like you said, most of these trailers have 12 to 16-inch sides. If it looks, it's a couple of feet up, okay, 3 or 4. I mean, and you can measure it. You can defend what you're gonna do because like you said, you can pull out a tape measure and measure it. You know, if they got it stacked up like Sanford and Son, you know,
But there is a little
tall.
truck that has 6-foot walls, a little Toyota,
yeah.
has
I know.
plywood all the way around
Yeah,
and full of construction.
because I mean, even on a pickup truck, standard height should be full to the top of the bed. Now, obviously, if you're bringing brush, you can put, because it doesn't weigh nothing.
Right.
You can stack it to the cab
and strap it.
and strap it, and you can stack it higher than the cab if you, if you're tall enough, if you can get Wimby to come over and help you.
We're not trying to make money, we're just trying to cover our expenses,
Correct.
trying to standardize our,
And another thing, I don't know if we still have the same contract since we first started, because back when we first started, they gave us so many tons for free before they even start charging us.
That's what we gotta look at is if we-
And when we first started, the per container was 300 and something. Now it's up to $600 and something.
That's why these prices gotta keep moving.
Yeah.
Because we gotta cover our rates out there too.
And when will this go in effect?
If we
We vote
ratify
on it.
today, it'll go.
Okay, and are we gonna get that billboard
We will
placed?
make a billboard
All
for
right,
you.
sounds
Don't worry.
good. Yes, sir.
And we'll put cameras out there where they're getting license plates and videos if they're throwing trash at you. That receipt that you hand them,
Yeah, that way
throw it
they
back at you.
throw it back at me,
We'll get the
cussed at
sheriff's
me.
Department out there to take care of that too.
Yeah. I almost got ran over for $5.
My guys almost get ran over.
Okay, thank you, Executive.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. All right. Entertain a motion on agenda item number 13.
So how do we want to amend this before we make a motion? Because that's where we got a couple different ways to do it.
Well, my question to you would be, would you like some more time to think about it? Since you're grandma.
like Commissioner Martin said, go in 2 feet increments if they've got
Multiply,
2 foot, 4 foot, 6 foot.
Or open up Pandora's door. So I got to tell you that there's a big facility on Interstate 10. That's the one that.
The Republic.
It's $100 a trailer. I don't care if you come with it. I go in there, I don't care if there's one piece in there, it's $100.
Yeah, I've heard about those. I've got customers that come in that gone over there.
It's just a hassle to go over there, but
But that's why they're coming over here, because it's cheaper. So if we're not charging enough to cover our expenses, then that's why we need to charge more, and it needs to be something that's reasonable.
Hard to see who's from out of town. I mean, I check their plates and all that, but still, they could get anybody's mail and, hey, I'm from Wilson County.
Again, you're not gonna make everybody happy.
no.
So I'll put it back to you, Mr. King. Do you want a little more, you want another couple of weeks to think through this? to see
Yeah,
what-
give me a few more, because right now I'm really thinking about just putting on the construction material. But yeah, give me a little bit of time.
table it again.
We'll table this again.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to table one more time.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Peredola. Is there any other discussion regarding 13? Hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion's tabled. Agenda item number 14, again, we have Commissioner King, discuss take action on placing a no through.
B.
I'm sorry, you're right. 13B, discuss take action on yeah, you don't want to miss this one. I know why everybody jumped on me. A 325 skidster for the collection facility. I apologize.
All right, so the skidster we have out there, we continue having to work on this thing. I mean, it is becoming a hazard at this point for our guys out there. So it is time to trade this one in and get something different. Another skidster, it's a pretty vital piece of equipment, picking up the trash out of these trailers or anything like that, moving wood around, moving things around out there. So I'm asking the court to approve a John Deere 325 skidster not to exceed $84,113.24. That is not including the trade-in. And where are we getting this from? If we do go with it?
Brenda, you and I discussed it. Where do you want to take it out?
Yes, you did. We have money in our non-departmental, because this is used countywide, we have money in our non-departmental reserve for unexpected expenses account in this year's current budget.
So we pay for it, or were you gonna finance?
I recommended we pay for it.
I recommend-
outright.
I would too, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why
If
I
we
asked the
have-
question.
Yeah.
If we have it at the end of this budget, it's a
We do.
smart thing to do. So,
And if I'm not mistaken, the equipment is available now, correct?
yes,
So we would
we could take delivery of it.
take possession and pay for it.
Do you have an amount on the trade-in?
Not currently. I have an old amount, but we put more hours on it since then.
What was the old amount?
The reason the question is will we have to bring it down below 50,000 with the trade-in? Or is this a buy board purchase?
It is a buy board purchase.
Not at all, I needed
And I guess, and then with RDO, we got another discount because of all the equipment we
All
bought
of it,
from this.
yeah, all of it's sitting right there. I mean, we got the state bid discount, we got the multi-unit discount, so it's all sitting right in front of you.
Your accessories is still in good shape, like your grapple bucket and all of that, are they in good shape?
Everything's still in good shape.
Good shape? Okay.
Where is it sitting?
Collection facility.
Okay, wrong number.
Entertain a motion on 13B, Commissioners.
I'll make a motion to purchase a 325 skidster for the collection facility.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Peridola. Is there any other discussion on 13B? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes. Now we move to agenda item number 14, discuss and take action on placing a no-through truck traffic on County Road 204, east side of 181. Commissioner King?
So County Road 204 on the east side, that's 181 right before you get into Fall City, or Carnes, right at the Carnes line. And basically, like to put a no-through truck traffic sign. I got a dead-end sign, but for whatever reason, I still get truck traffic go down there. And then they tear up the road trying to turn around.
Is that the new road that was built by
No, sir.
Carnes?
That's the opposite side.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's all dirt and sand over there. So,
I got a question, because procedurally, doesn't this have to come from the citizens? That's what I've been told. That we can't decide we want to make a road no through trucks, it has to come from the citizens.
Well, we have to have a public
You
hearing.
do have to have a public hearing. I mean, if you've gotten complaints or you believe that this needs to be done for the safety, you can initiate it. It doesn't necessarily need to be initiated, but there does need to be a public hearing where the citizens have a right to voice a concern. and opinion on it.
we have,
Because that's contrary to what y'all have told me in the past, that's why I'm asking the question. Yeah, I think it was you.
That the actual change has to be initiated.
Yep.
I mean, the citizens do need to know what's going on.
Oh, yeah, great, yeah, I agree.
But if you've gotten enough complaints or information, you think it's what's needed for the county or for the community, then you have the authority to initiate that, but you do have to involve the public. So it's- I'm sorry, there was,
Yeah, well, can you put that officially in writing to me? Because if that's the case, because I asked the question before, I had a county road that was asked to be made no through truck traffic, and I made that followed the procedures y'all gave me for the request, and I asked the question, what about the road that it dead ends into? And I couldn't get anybody to give me a request, and they all said, no, I can't do that, it has to come from the citizen. 104 and 105, which goes into 106, and 106 was the road in question.
Commissioners are in charge of the roads.
Well, yeah, that's what, all I want to know is what the procedure is.
Well, okay, so now that brings up a question for me. Remember when we put the speed bumps down in your precinct on that one housing? Did we go through a public hearing?
We did not do speed bumps.
Did a stop sign?
We didn't proceed with that because we had our public meeting, and after that, we never did move forward.
So we had a public meeting.
Had a public meeting in regards to it and had the public show up. Majority of the public did not want to have, and some showed up with, mind you, they ended up using the same source, but sources where, okay, you put a stop sign here, what happens is the public just overcompensates by speeding 15 miles an hour to get to it, and you're causing more problems rather than helping alleviate the situation.
Okay.
There was no action after that public meeting.
You want to take no action on 14 and wait and have it, have a public hearing? What would you like to do?
Yeah, we can do that. I mean,
Yeah, you can, if we, yeah, because it's going to have to go to a public hearing, I know that, so we can, but let's see, because we have to do a notice, so it's got to be at least 30 days from today, so we'll need to look at a calendar and figure it out.
I'll get with you on this. Then we'll
Okay.
Go from there. Okay,
So we're gonna take no action on 14.
gotcha.
Agenda item number 15, we have 9 minutes. Is that gonna
Is
be
that
enough?
no action, or is that tabling until the next?
Well,
There's no action.
it's no action. I'll get with,
Okay.
We have 9 minutes wait before we have to do public hearings.
Probably do the next one, it's pretty simple.
Okay, all right. We have Ms. Brenda Trevino, County Auditor, discuss take action on approving a renewal contract between Wilson County and Southern Health Partners for medical services in the county jail.
So currently, the county is in contract with Southern Health Partners, who provide the medical services in our county jail. The contract period runs from July through June of the following year. They sent a letter dated June the 4th, outlining a price increase for July 24th through June 30th, 2025. They are adjusting their contract price to include a 4% price increase. And the new base annualized fee for the 24-25 contract period would be $209,444.52. And then they have a per diem rate for greater than 150 inmates at $1.48. This was sent to the sheriff and I informed the sheriff that I would bring it to your review and action.
We had any other bids beside this one company?
This is a contract that's been in place when Sheriff Stewart came into office, I want to say probably since 2020, somewhere around there. My office has not gone out for bid for nursing services. That would be a question for the sheriff.
Sheriff, can you take the podium for a minute? I got a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
So looking at this contract, I mean, it looks, there's a lot. There's one other county that pays way more than you, but they have more inmates.
Right.
But I'm looking at the area around, and I gotta ask you, so if you had the nurse you had before in there, and that inmate needed to go to the hospital, we just transport them over there and they were looked at the hospital, correct?
Yes, sir.
There's no other treatment other than dispensing of prescriptions?
That is basically, the nurses basically checks incoming for any kind of illness whatsoever before we accept them. They have an incoming, but as far as treatment, no, it's pretty much, if it's not something just like basic cold or
Okay.
fever or whatever, yes, they're transported to hospital to be checked out and then brought back.
So have you been happy with this? Because I know we've had problems with them, correct?
Actually, since the change, I have been real happy with them. They gave me a report, the quarterly report, about 2 weeks ago, showing what had been done the first 3 months and what's been done the last 3 months of, since the new nurse took over. And it is by far way more accomplished in there. We're up to date on our inmate physicals. We're up to date on everything. They're running very well. And I will say that in 3 years that I've been under this contract, no other company has ever reached out to me, and I get reached out by all sorts of vendors for different things that my office does. No one has reached out to me to provide health services, which indicates to me there's not a whole lot of companies out there that provide this service. And this is like, would you say 4%? I think it's about an $8,000, $8,000 or $9,000 over last year. Is that correct? I think last year was like 196, 197. So it's about $10,000 increase. But like I said, I don't have
When
any.
I asked you that, I did a little research. I called the surrounding counties. Atascosa County pays $15,600 a year for their medical services.
And see, do they hire their own nursing staff?
Doctor comes in every day.
Okay. And,
Karnes County pays $36,000. They use the same doctor. Gonzales is between $30,000 and $35,000. They've only used $10,000 of it. Live Oak is $36,000. Hudspeth County, which has almost as many prisoners or inmates you do, is $50,000. But the one that's way high, and incomparable to yours, it's a little bit higher, is Medina County, Judge Lutz's county. But he has almost 200 beds.
right.
So he's paying $300,000. I didn't know if you wanted to look at possibly going with, a nurse, a registered nurse on the low end is $61,000. At the high end is $105,000. That'd still be a savings to your sheriff's department.
And I know that before, what I understood, and this was before me, and I never bothered to actually look any further, that a lot of this was caused because of the federal prisoners, that some of these other places they don't have the same requirements. The federal prisoners require a different standard in healthcare, and that's why this contract was initiated. Brenda, do you recall that? That's what I was under the impression. If we could get by with just hiring our own nurse, or even contracting with a nurse from the hospital or whatever,
Is this an annual one? This is annual contract.
it's an annual contract.
It had to do with corrections officers passing out the meds. We had to have somebody on staff every single day to be able to
Okay.
pass out meds.
Okay, and
Federals.
for the feds. It's not required for the state jail commission, but the feds require that you actually have to have a certified on.
Staff 24/7?
No, just to dispense it. They have to put it all together and set it all up, and then the jailers, through training, can be utilized to dispense it when they're absent. Right now, I think most of the dispensing is being done by us again, currently anyway.
I think it's a little late in the game to try to look for a nurse full-time. With those benefits, we'd still be way under. Is something you want to look at next budget cycle possibly, and let's get a jump on it early?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yes.
Does this one go out?
It went out in June. That's
July,
right. Yeah, first day of July, it basically was expired.
Okay. Yeah, we look at it from an employee, we could save your budget some money.
Oh, yes.
$100,000.
Yeah.
Well, we need to make sure we're comparing apples to apples, and we're meeting all the requirements for.
Well, of course, of course.
I don't have a problem during the next, well, we got 11 months now because it started in July. Next 11 months, I'll reach out and start doing the background to see what exactly is required and what I need, and we'll see if we can work it from there.
Whatever jail standards say, I guess, whatever, okay. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 15.
We'll make a motion to approve the contract between Wilson County and Southern Health Partners for medical services for the county jail.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Paradola. Is there any other discussion on agenda item number 15?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Is there the potential of reaching out to them and going, we want to be on a month-to-month? I mean, we're already a month past the,
Right. I believe there is that potential because Carmen, Carmen Hamilton emailed the sheriff and I asking, hey, has it been that is certainly a question that we can ask. I don't believe there's any harm. I've allocated this amount in the proposed budget. Should the sheriff, research other opportunities or other options, if they give us an out, then we at least already have the money budgeted that he can utilize if he wants to bring on a staff nurse or utilize a contract nurse, and then he can just reallocate those funds to something else.
I will say that I did research this once, about 2 years ago now, and for either the hospital or one of the, I think ESD3 was going to take over our deal. The problems had something to do with nobody would carry the liability insurance for them to cover them in the jail. That's why it fell through. They could never give me a solid quote.
Without
to
them
do
being an
this.
employee of yours, then
And that's what it basically came down to, is I'm pretty much gonna have to employ them myself in order to do this, because another company can't get the liability insurance to cover their employee in there.
Prior to Sheriff Stewart coming in, the county did employ nursing staff.
We did. We had 2 full-time, and we had a doctor that was on call.
do you remember the expense of doing that? Not that it would apply today, but
Whatever their salaries were.
No, because it really didn't, the 2 nurses went through us, but the doctor's side, I believe, was contract.
Yeah. Usually you'll contract, like, let's say University Health System, and you have a doctor that the nurses can consult with, and it's because I believe there was a requirement, a statutory requirement, that you had to have a medical.
Yes. Kind of like the ESDs have their
Right.
doctor that's actually oversees all of that.
Always has
Yes,
to be a medical
same thing applies.
I mean, I can reach out and just ask regarding the month-to-month contract, while we explore other options.
I think it'd be in our best interest.
That'd save you a lot of money, Sheriff.
You can reach out, reach out to her in the email? Okay,
I will, and I'll copy you on it.
all right, thank you.
Commissioners, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you, Sheriff. All right, we're going to recess our normal meeting to return back to agenda item number 5 and number 7. We'll start with 6 and 7. We have a 10 o'clock open RFQ 24-008 Architectural Services for the Shelter of Last Resort and expansion of the current Wilson County Community and Expo Center.
Yes, Judge, this is request for qualifications for an architect. We received 1 hard copy. My office typically does not accept electronic copies, but the wording in this contract or in the bid packet included a line in there that we would accept electronic submissions, and we received, I believe, 6, so I will open those as well. I'm gonna open the hard copy here. And again, this is request for qualification, so there is no pricing attached to this. The first one is from LEG Architecture, LEGG. Those submitted electronically. The next one is from PBK Architecture and Engineering Services.
Sorry, what was the first letter?
P is in Paul, B is in boy, K as in King, Commissioner King. The next one is from Chesney Morales Partners, Inc., CMP Charlie Mary Peanut. It's Chesney, CHES, as in Sam, NEY, Morales Partners, Inc. The next one's from Sunland Group, SUNLAND Group. The next one is from Deborah Dockery Architect. Deborah Dockery Architect. We have one more. The next one is from Lopez Solis Architects. And that completes it. That should be 1, 2, 3, 4, a total of 6. Okay. So there's no action to be taken. We have the committee that will review them and score them just like we did for the hazard mitigation plan, EOC, and that sort of thing, and then we'll come back to the court for a recommendation. This is, when you initially approved going out for bid, this was going to seek services for an architect to design the shelter of last resort and expansion of the Expo Center to include all phases, front and back. Since then, we modified the bid packet to exclude the front portion and have them design only the new build, which is the back portion of it, because you'll see another agenda item that I'll speak to regarding the front portion of that. So that's all on that one. Now we can go to the next one.
Okay, we'll open the following bids for Wilson County. A, material hauling, material plus hauling. B, bulk gasoline, diesel. Again, this is still agenda item number 6.
Okay, so we're gonna start with gasoline. I believe these might be the only two. I'm not really sure. That says material. Okay, so I'll start with the fuel, bulk, gasoline, and diesel. This again is bid number 25-1001. The first one is from Midtex Oil, LP. The second one is from Great Lakes Petroleum. Midtex did not submit one. This one from Midtex. Oh, did I say Midtex? Oh, it was. And this one is from Arguindigui Oil. It's ARGUIN as in Nancy, D as in David, E as in Edward, GUI. Oil Company.
Where are they physically?
Laredo. I'm assuming that's where their, the home base is, but we haven't looked through it, so. Just as a reminder, just for your information, you already know Great Lakes Petroleum is the company that bought out John's Oil. All right, the next set is for the flexible base material bid.
On the Great Lakes, does anybody know, will their John's Oil, is that still gonna be the same as Great Lakes if you buy fuel here in Floresville from John's Oil, or?
The-
That's my understanding.
The
They bought
con-
'em out.
Yeah, they bought him out, and they assumed the contract that we currently have with John's Oil. I did talk to Evelyn. She stated that, you know, we would need to bring it to the court for approval. I have not done that because we are in the middle now of going out for our new contract. I can still do that, but it would only be for 30 days, yeah. But all the pricing and everything would have to be according to what Great Lakes submitted. Yeah. Okay, back to flexible base. First proposal, the first packet is from Simpson Crushed Stone, Simpson. Oh, I think that was this one. Yeah. The next one is from Ergon Asphalt and Emulsion. Yeah. My favorite time of year, Commissioner. The next one's from Vulcan Construction Materials. Colorado Materials. Brontex Materials. Atascosa Materials. $181 Materials. Aggregate Movers LLC. Okay. And that is all for the flexible base and material. As customary, Kristen will put together the bid tab, send you any copies of information that you need, and then we'll come back to the court at the next court with a recommendation.
Move to agenda item number 16. We have discussed and take action on approving updated use of ARPA funds to include $4,215,261 for the Shelter of Last Resort and expansion of the Wilson County Expo and Community Center, $1,080,362 for the Emergency Operations Center, and $133 for the purchase of a precinct shared wood chipper.
Yeah, so these numbers change daily based on different quotes and proposals and interest rates. But I did update the ARPA committee as at the end of July. I wanted to give them an update of where we were with ARPA funding and projects that were previously recommended and approved by you here in court. In December, if you remember, the court approved the purchase of the county precinct shared chip spreader and the distributor truck. That was for $620,569.01. The Good Sam Instant Help Dispatch Services was pending ESD approval. We had tentatively allocated $355,000 for that. That has not been approved and off the table at this point. You also approved $2.35 million to go toward the Wilson County Wellness Center. Because we did not receive the funding that we applied for through Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz's office, Judge Whitman has decided to put that project on hold until we determine whether or not we're going to have additional funding because we knew it would be in excess of the 2.3. And then finally, you also approved the 2.35 upgrades and renovation to the Wilson County Expo and Community Center. So we currently have $5.4 million, give or take, based on interest in our ARPA fund. We do know that we have to have it obligated by December 31st of this year, meaning that we do have to have it encumbered on a purchase order so that we can report back to the state. I met with Judge Whitman. So what we're recommending then is reallocating the money that we were going to use for the Wellness Center and allocate it back to the Shelter of Last Resort, the expansion of the Expo Center. If you remember, we have the front part that is going to be reconstructed for an emergency evacuation center. And then the back portion is the new, what we're calling, excuse me, the new build, which you had the presentation from the Expo Center Steering Committee. The Emergency Operations Center, we recently awarded the general contractor in the sum of $6,260,000 for the construction of the Emergency Operations Center. We have $5.1 million available funding from TDM, which was state appropriated funds. So the recommendation is to allocate the difference of the $1,080,000 from ARPA funds to complete that project. In addition, Commissioner Martin asked me about the Civil Preparedness Fund, which we do have a little over $700,000. And so what I've been working on in the proposed budget is allocating those 3 different funding streams for the entire completion of the Emergency Operations Center to equate to that. And then if we needed additional, we won't know until we get to that point. So the remaining $4 million would then be allocated to the expansion if need. And that's only if needed because we don't know yet what that cost is going to be. So I'm asking the court's approval to reallocate the funds so that we can get the numbers encumbered on our books.
Brenda, so I understand that Commissioner Paradola and Commissioner Martin did a little research on the purchase of the wood chipper, and we have it in there. It's
I do. I
a
have
little bit lower, but I would like to just leave it at that for any incidentals that come up.
Well, so I did get the quote on Friday. I know on the agenda it says $133,000. Commissioner Martin sent me the updated quote. It's $110,558. What I didn't know was that there is a truck that needs to be purchased also that pulls this, which I don't have a quote for that yet, but Commissioner Martin and I have been working with.
Let me fill in the rest of the court. Yeah, so Commissioner Perdola was out sick, so he asked me to help with this. And so I actually went up to Vermeer to look at the 2 machines that they had proposed to us. Initially, we thought that the more expensive machine had features that we would need and use. After I looked at it, talked to the sales rep, in a discussion with Commissioner Perdola, it's like, nah, we don't need that stuff. We won't use it. One thing we do need to do, because you can't tell on that quote, is make sure that that has the engine that we want. We need to make sure, and I'll follow up with him when we get done today, but we want a diesel engine. It's a slight upgrade from the one we have now. The one we have now is 100 horsepower gas. We're looking at 130 horsepower Cummins diesel, which is a better engine. And so they also have the Cadillac version of the John Deere 170 horsepower, but we don't think we need that.
Can you also explain this piece of equipment and the need for it and how it went down?
Right, well, actually.
Because I don't think anybody's.
Yeah, the engine in the existing chipper is no longer serviceable. It's broke, and it would cost a lot of money to fix it. And it's I believe we purchased this in '98, so it's 26 years old.
It's almost 30.
Been
yes.
unable to determine if it was used when we bought it.
Yeah.
So they can't tell us. They found the original purchase order here, but back end of the machine is rusted out, so it would take extensive repair to rebuild the chute on the back and a new engine. And I just don't see where it would justify this kind of machine.
Well, and we've had problems with it throwing belts and staying in alignment and everything else. So it's basically, I believe,
Used
reached
for
the end of its
purpose.
reached the end of its useful life.
And it's definitely an eligible use of ARPA funds, so I highly recommend that the court considers approving this, so that's
Right.
one
And
less thing that
and
I
the
need
other
to
side of
encumber.
it is that truck was also purchased at the same time, and it's got rust holes in it. Same thing. It
None of the gauges working, and speedometer,
maybe on a good day. Yeah,
none of that works in it.
it's in the same boat. So we got with
Ricardo.
Ricardo with Enterprise the other day. He came down, or he happened to be down, so we got with him. We gave him the information that we're looking at, so he's going to look and see what he can find for us in that regard. This would be an outright purchase because it is a county shared piece of equipment. We would want to pay for it with the ARPA funds and not do it do it any other way, because then we couldn't use the ARPA funds to pay for it if we
Correct.
split it amongst our 4 precincts or something like that. So.
I do want to go and check out Commercial Party over in Inwood Road. They sell those type of trucks in stock.
Do you have any idea of what something like that would cost?
Well, what I looked up on the internet, where they had, the Ford 650 or a Chevy 6500 truck was running around 125, 130,000.
Oh, okay.
In that range, similar to the cost of the
Okay.
chipper.
So I would recommend then, we certainly can look at the purchase of that with ARPA funds in addition to this, but until we get that quote, but since we already have the hard quote for the chipper itself, I would ask for your consideration.
My recommendation would be to do an outright purchase. And the reason
Correct.
because this truck will last more than 4 years. So we wouldn't get chip.
Right. Well, using ARPA funds would have to be an outright purchase, so.
Right. But, yeah, so by this week, probably, well, for next court, we should have the
Yeah.
information available on the truck. And like I said, I want to confirm on that quote that is the engine that we want. I think it is, because I know, that's what he asked him to quote, but when I went and looked at machines, and I was actually standing there, they had a gasoline machine, and I was getting back and forth, so we just need to verify that before we commit.
Please do, because I know nothing about these machines.
I think it is from what I talked to the
Yeah.
salesman about.
We're in the better than 50%.
I'm back in full force, so I will tend to that and get it checked out.
But I think as far as the rest of it, I don't know that we need to reallocate it, because we just seem to be reallocating and reallocating. The other thing is, we still have at least 2 other requests and I remember one of them was from Courage Ranch, and I don't even remember who the other one was from, that we just said, we will look at these kind of things when we get down towards the end, and I think we owe it to those folks to go back and look at it and see if we can help them to something before we just start just throwing money at things that we don't know.
What were those projects?
I don't remember. We'd have to pull them back up. They were submitted. She should have the records.
Yeah, so when we've met with the ARPA committee several times over since we received the money 2 years ago. The court has already made the recommendations on how to disperse the money. So I'm just asking for reallocation because we keep shifting by approving purchases here and there, and the bank balances are changing. So I'm not asking you to approve anything that you haven't already approved. I'm just asking that we reallocate the monies so that I can start getting these purchase orders on hand. I don't know yet how much is going to be left over because we don't know what the cost of the construction is going to be yet because we haven't gone out for bid.
And I think one of those ARPA distributions was the medical emergency application that was going to be used by the dispatch.
The Good Sam, which
Yeah,
the
we let the dispatcher
sheriff, we
manage
left it in the sheriff and dispatcher's hands, and they opted not, that it was not a good fit at this time. When I did send the email out to all of the committee members, the ARPA committee members, gave them all of this information, asked if they had any feedback. I asked if they wanted to schedule a meeting. I only received 2 responses. One was from Commissioner Martin. The other one did not want a meeting and gave me his approval pending a couple of questions that he had, which I responded to him. So that's where I'm at now with that.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 16.
Well, make sure I think we need to address each one of these separately, because they each have their own nuance. I don't think we can do it as a group, because we don't know what the numbers are. And if we're gonna do a truck, we can take care of a good part of this by the next meeting. I know what you're saying, and we are under the gun.
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 16.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of a precinct-tiered wood chipper for an amount not to exceed $110,558 pending verification that it contains the engine that we want from Vermeer, Texas, Louisiana, who is by board.
All right, so just so the court's understanding of this, and I understand this, we're breaking this down in 3 separate motions?
I
Is that
would.
what we're doing? Is that what we're doing here?
That's what I'd like to do.
Let's break it down.
All right, let's do that.
I'll second his motion.
Motion is made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King for the approval of the purchase of a wood chipper not to exceed $110,550, and there's some change?
558.
$558.
If it does come back that it's not the piece of equipment that you need and it's higher than that, then the purchase is on hold until we come back to court? Is
Yep.
that my understanding?
Yeah, it would have to be.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion regarding that specific agenda item? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion passes. All right, we're going to do number 2. We're going to do the $1,080,362 for the Emergency Operations Center.
I'll make a motion for the $1,080,362 for the Emergency Operations Center.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Is there any other discussion regarding the $1,080,362 for the Emergency Operations Center?
Yes. Again, there's 725,000-ish that's needs to be applied against this. We don't need that much money from the ARPA funds to complete that and make that whole.
Commissioner, because the contract for the Emergency Operations Center is $6,260,000.
Right.
We were awarded $5 million and some change, so we need the difference to make up to complete
Right,
that.
and you've got the 700 and,
And it's not enough.
I know it's not enough, but you don't need $1 million.
Yes, we do, because the Civil Preparedness Fund has not been.
Okay, so
approved on
you have
before.
6.2, right? Is the contract price, right? 6.2?
$6,260,000.
Okay, all right, so we'll call it 6.3. Take away 5.1.
No, sir, it's not 5.1 because it has accrued interest because we put it in.
Okay, so it's more than that.
It is more than that.
Okay, but we'll just say it's 5.1. So that leaves you 1.2. And that's basically what you're asking for, but you haven't taken off the 750 or 725 or whatever's in.
Because we're not allocating $750,000 from the Civil Preparedness Fund solely for that purpose.
Well, how much are we going to allocate?
It's in the proposed budget, which is not
then I go back to my point is why are we putting specific,
Because the
Numbers.
ARPA funds have to be expended by December 31st.
and we'll have the budget approved by next first?
You have already approved the allocation
Like allocation of what?
of the ARPA funds. I'm giving you the dollar amount that's needed to complete that amount. We don't have enough to complete the Emergency Operations Center with the funding we received from TITA.
Granted, yes.
The court has not approved expending the 700 plus thousand that we have in Civil Preparedness Fund, because that fund is not solely for the Emergency Operations Center. We utilize that fund for other items needed for civil preparedness. For example, last year you approved the purchase of a vehicle for our Emergency Management Department to be purchased out of the Civil Preparedness Fund. So what I did is I took the difference between what the ARPA fund plus what's needed, the difference out of Civil Preparedness Fund from the proposed budget.
Okay,
You-
I disagree,
you're more-
but
You're more
anyway.
than welcome to figure out the dollars and come back to the court with a proposal. I'm giving you my recommendation as your auditor.
All right, Commissioner, motion has been made and seconded. Is there any other discussion regarding that specific agenda item? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against?
Aye.
All right, one against. All right, motion passes. Now we move to the first part, the $4,215,261 for the Shelter of Last Resort and expansion of the Wilson County Expo and Community Center. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion to use the ARPA funds of $4,215,261 for the Shelter of Last Resort and expansion of the Wilson County Expo and Community Center.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Is there any other discussion regarding that specific item of the $4,215,261 for the Shelter of Last Resort and expansion of the Wilson County Expo and Community Center? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against?
Aye.
Motion passes. We move to agenda item number 17. Ms. Brenda Trevino again, discuss and take action on going out for a bid for a general contractor to expand and remodel the existing front portion of the Wilson County Expo and Community Center for a Shelter of Last Resort.
Yes, so as I mentioned earlier in a previous agenda item, Judge Whitman decided after we did the walkthrough with the steering committee and met with the architects in the pre-bid meeting, we discovered that it would be, it could financially be more feasible to just go out for bid for a general contractor for the front expansion for the Shelter of Last Resort part of it. So Judge would like my office to go out for bid, looking for a general contractor because that would not require us to have an architect for design and so forth, because it would just be an extension and remodel, and Judge can speak to that. I don't have the scope of work. That's something that Judge Whitman would be putting together with my staff.
Commissioners, I've talked to several contractors. It doesn't require us hiring a architect to come in if it's just expanding out. They're just gonna go off the structure. It's like a remodel, and that's what I'm asking for, because we don't know what that's gonna cost. I'd like for that to go out so we can get a picture of what that would look like.
So what are you gonna do? What are we talking about?
We're talking about going about 30 feet out to the left if you're looking to it, and 50 feet out the back.
Okay, and that's probably gonna cost more than $50,000, right?
Oh, I can assure you it's gonna cost more than 50.
So there's gonna be a required TDLR review for that. Who's gonna do that?
Okay, so for us that are not, our engineers,
Texas
what does that
Department
mean?
of Licensing and Regulation, because
Okay, tell
you're
us what
spending more
that
than
is. Tell the court what that is.
$50,000, you're gonna have to have an ADA review. And you're gonna have to probably bring the whole building in, excuse me, into compliance with ADA requirements, which means you're gonna have to have enough parking spaces, you're gonna have to meet the cross slopes, all those kind of things. I think you really need an architect. You don't have to have them do a whole lot, but I think you're My opinion is that you're sticking your neck out trying to do this yourself internally because there's some things that might get missed.
But wouldn't the it's my understanding.
No,
when we-
general contractors
What-
don't
hang
do
on.
that.
Yes, they do,
Architects.
because when we spoke with the architect firms during the previous meeting,
That-
they
well, they
told
can.
us that one of the options is if we go out for bid for a general contractor, the general contractor that would then secure their architects if needed.
So just to get to your point, Commissioner, we did speak to the architects about the ADA compliance. Now that the building's going to be expanded, sprinkler systems, so we talked about all of that. Because we want to make sure it's safe and done correctly.
And you have to keep in mind, we are utilizing funds from the general land office, which are grant funds, and there are specific procurement requirements that we must follow in securing the general contractor. So it would be
And
incumbent
so,
upon
and
my
then
department to
who's
make
gonna,
sure.
who's gonna look at the drainage? Is that gonna be a part of it? Because that, let's see, think of my directions here, that kind of northeast corner, when you go out that northeast corner door, there's a hole right there. That all needs to be regraded. If you extend that building out, you're gonna be blocking whatever drainage you got to get around there. So that, somebody's gotta look at that and figure out what needs to be done for that.
I'm sure there's a lot of things we can do there.
Well, and that's my point, is, and how are we gonna make sure that all this stuff gets captured and that the contractor's bidding it so that when you get a price, you get a price that's hopefully within range and you're not having a bunch of change orders? I mean, you're gonna have a pretty detailed scope of work.
We're trying to get an idea what this remodel looks like. We're not approving anything.
Well, that's not what this says.
This is a request to go out for bid for general contractor.
Well, and I wouldn't do a bid because they're not gonna give you a price yet.
Well, it would be a request for qualifications, because we don't know
Right.
what the price is yet.
Right.
And this is for the front and the back, or the front?
Front side,
So we're not even talking about the back portion that
No.
we just voted on?
No.
To put money to? Okay.
that's correct.
So this is just a bid for qualifications for a general contractor?
Well, it's not a bid, it's a request for qualifications.
RFQ. Is what it,
So I would just need to make sure that we're clear on that, Judge, because if it's not gonna be based on a bid, then we're back to just qualifications, and then once you sit with a contractor, review all the qualifications, and we select a contractor, then that contractor would come back to us with an estimated price.
Negotiate price.
So we want to go ahead and reword? Is that what you're saying?
Unless you're able to draw a specific scope of work detailing exactly what we want, that would be the only way that we could actually have it be a competitive sealed bid process.
well, if we're just doing the front, there's no, the drainage side that Commissioner Martin is talking about, that's towards the back. So where we're at, that you're talking about, yes, there probably needs to be a drainage study, I agree with that, but we're moving 50 foot back into that, or 30 foot back into that barn. The portion getting knocked down already, so from behind the stage. And then you're bringing the other side out, back to that road on the west side.
Correct.
So that building's already there. Everything is already there. There's, the drainage study won't have to happen up there to that extent that we're talking about in the back. So that's all we're looking for whenever we're talking about going out for RFQ or a bid. Okay. Yes, it needs to come back to ADA. Needs to come back with all the standards, with whether it's ramps or whatever it is, whenever we open this thing up, whenever we're putting showers in there, because that's what this thing is for, okay? To house personnel that need in emergencies, okay? So that's what all this is about up in the front, not towards the back barns. So,
How many square feet will this expand the building?
Oh, I couldn't tell you without putting it to pen and paper right now. It will house 150 more people for the evacuation center, for sure. Entertain a motion.
So the question is, are we going out for qualifications or a bid? And it sounds more like a qualification.
Qualification.
Right, okay. I'll make a motion to
It's not written.
go out for qualifications, general contractor to expand and remodel the existing front portion of the Wilson County Expo and Community Center for the shelter of last resort.
As long as we amend it in the motion. Second.
He's asking
I'm-
because the item agenda is specific to a bid, because you've had the discussion, and the motion is specific to this issue.
All right, motion's been made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Paradola to place an RFQ out for a general contractor to expand, remodel the existing front portion of the Wilson County Expo and Community Center for a shelter of last resort. Is there any other discussion?
Just with these RFQs, how are they gonna know what we're looking for? Or is it just gonna be,
It's gonna kind of be the same thing. They're
These are gonna be
put
our
some
accolades.
guidelines in there to tell them what it is they want to see that they either can know or do, or what their experience is in these types of things.
We can do that. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. We are gonna disregard agenda item number 18 since it follows up, it's duplicated. It'll be on agenda item number 21. Move to agenda item number 19. We have Jennifer Dominguez, Wilson County Democratic Party. Discuss and take action. The Wilson County Democratic Party would like to have a voter registration event and rummage sale on Saturday, September 14th, 2024, from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on the lawn of the courthouse. On this same day, the city's hosting a food distribution event during the same time in the courthouse parking lot. The rummage sale will allow customers of the food distribution to buy reasonably priced items in conjunction with the food distribution. Volunteer deputy registers will be available to ensure voters are registered, addresses are up to date, and ensure voters aren't in suspense. Tents and tables will be provided by the Wilson County Democratic Party, and there isn't expectations of the city or county having to provide anything. Richard Nims will be representing this proposal to the courts. Mr. Nims, you have the floor.
Good morning, gentlemen.
morning.
I will not repeat what was just read. I would here to answer any questions that you might have on this proposal.
Is this allowable activity?
We've done it for the Republican Party.
Yeah. Okay. But we cannot provide anything.
No,
No,
we cannot.
we're not asking for anything from the county, just the space.
We cannot provide
There
you.
is an expectation, but there will not, can't be any expectation. There is no expectation.
Okay. Any other questions, Commissioner? I'll entertain a motion.
Do any of the commissioners have a problem with this, or good, or not?
We've done it for the opposite party.
I apologize for the confusion because I think you know that we're all sitting here as Republicans.
We understand that, and I think in fairness to both parties, since you
I don't disagree with you. I think what we're all struggling with is our obligation to the party. And
Okay,
I'm not really sure what the right protocol is here. I don't have an objection to it happening. I'm just not really sure.
Okay, I want to emphasize that there will not be any political campaigning, nor will there be any signs for the Democratic Party. This is just for voter registration and for a rummage sale. It is not a political event, There will be no political advertising.
And I think I made that clear to Ms. Dominguez, no political signs, just if they want to sign up, since we've done it
So
for,
it's a voter registration.
it's a voter
It's
registration.
voter registration for our county citizens. And also, as indicated, it would be a source of inexpensive items for people who are coming for the food bank that the city is providing on the parking lot. So it'd be easy for people to come over and get inexpensive items.
We have a motion, Commissioners?
I'll make a motion that we allow the Democratic Party to have a voter registration event on Saturday, the 14th, 2024, from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on the lawn of the courthouse.
Have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion's made by Commissioner Paradola, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Do we have any other discussion on agenda item number 19?
Just want to make sure nothing, like what just happened last time we had a vote in this city, doesn't happen again on this courthouse lawn. That's my biggest problem with it right now, no matter what party it is. I don't ever want to see that again.
Okay,
Oh, that had.
What is the
It had to
concern?
do with the city election.
The city election
They set up
stuff.
barbecue pits and, which was not good.
It'll be nothing like that.
Okay. All right, hearing no other discussion, call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, so I've been informed that we didn't mention the whole action item. Commissioners, does that also include the rest of the paragraph about the food distribution and the rummage sale? I would assume that's what you meant when y'all voted on that?
I
The rest of
Would
it's
you-
yours.
missed the sentence. I mean, I've read it in my mind. If it,
Well, what he said was just the first sentence. He didn't say the whole paragraph.
Do we need another motion?
Let's make another motion. I'll entertain another motion.
It's a voter registration and the rummage sale.
Or other events, right?
All right.
We'll go back again and make that motion.
All right, not only to have a voter registration, but to include the rummage sale on the lawn from 7 to 1:30 in conjunction with the food distribution event on that same day in the courthouse parking lot.
Motion made by Commissioner Perdola. Is there a second to that?
second.
Seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any other discussion? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, motion passes. All right, we're going to go to agenda item number 20. We are going to convene in closed session under section 551-074 to discuss a personal matter. I will need a vote to go to recess temporarily and go into executive session.
Make a motion to go to recess and go into executive session.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Paradola. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we will go into executive session.